Hello, everybody. Just waiting for folks to come on in. Waiting for folks to come on in. How do I see this? How do I see this? Let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can see me. Trying to look at my live stream. I'm not sure how to see that on the elsewhere. I probably had to go to the app or something. Yeah, this is how I can see it. All right, bet. Okay. Just give me a few moments. I got to tweak some things, but now I can see it. I can see the chat now. So let me turn this down so I don't have that going off and crazy. I don't expect that many people to be in here. Thank you, Skull Weeb, for joining. About to have an update for you all and all that good stuff. I just want a few more people to join in. It's only been a couple minutes, so I'll give it about 2 more minutes and then we can start the presentation and all that. Even if it's 10 people, I'll just make do with what I have. It's the whole goal. If you can see me, put a camera in the chat or something. But I gotta handle something real quick. But let's see. I could probably play some music in the meantime. Yeah, I could probably play some music in the meantime. So this is what I'll do. I'll play something, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do. Let's see where I could play this. It didn't even enter the Apple Music. What if I mute this but let it go off? Audio capture. Location capture. Music. Okay. Sorry about this, folks. I just got to make it optimal. Okay. How's everybody doing tonight? Got a launch update for you all. So basically, I'm gonna get into it. All right, the music has stopped. The music has stopped. Hey, if you guys didn't know or weren't aware already, I go by LandStrike. This is a rebrand from the production moniker Landfill. Um, Also, the longtime producer for Sybyr. You know, you've heard Walking Around, 10th anniversary. This year, there's going to be a Renjago anniversary. Shove these colors up your anus. Um, Anniversary. There's a lot of albums that are now turning 10. So, with that being said, that's just where everything's at right now. So, long time producer for Sybyr. I've been producing myself since summer of 2008. Definitely a long time for someone my age. However, it's been a journey nonetheless. I had very much a longing for creating the sound in my head and getting it out there. So this is definitely something that have accomplished in my own right. I started with a variety of sampling slash boom bap, electronic, and trap music. So though I delved into those genres before I started to eventually become the early pioneer of the trap metal genre. All right. Those are all of what I have right now in this slide. I'm about to go to the next one, but yeah, this is just a summary of how I came to be as LandStrike as a producer behind the cyber wall and all that good stuff. And that's just how I came to be. That's how I came to prominence. Is how I did it. But in this one, I'm going to go over some of the services that LandStrike has to offer alongside production, beat making, collaboration, and things of that nature. So, yeah. Right now, I have updated my lease prices. These are going to be the prices pretty much for the season. They start at $30 for the MP3, which leads into a 50% master split. Now, the MP3 is the lowest quality file that you can have for your production behind your song. So, that is just the entry level, and that requires a 50% master split. The next tier up would be the $50 MP3 and Wave tier. That comes at a 40% master split. So if you're more serious, you get less of it taken out in the back end. And you get to have the Wave file, which is undoubtedly the best file to have for streamline mixing, processing, overall sound that you have going for you. At the next tier up, this is where it gets included the stems. This is where the stems are included. So at the $150 level, you have both, referring to the MP3 and Wave, along with the stems. Along with the stems, that this tier you only get to do a 30% master split for working on my production, all that good stuff. This tier, we can kind of get into a session, dive a bit more into your song, process what you would like to sound like, and then have more things added into the production, the stems, and the split alongside it. So that 150 is less about the file themselves, but more so beginning to work with me in a more granular process. The next tier after that will be the $200 unlimited non-exclusive. This one comes at a 30% master split in the back end. So basically, all I require is a 30% master split. That's just, let's do it. It's business, right? So this tier, we get to do a little bit more hands-on experience after you made a song, after you made your track. Now, the changes that I see with the higher end tiers, they're definitely going to have more involvement. They're not going to be just here are the files, best you can do with it. There may be additional services with these tiers, especially the lower end tiers. And the whole point is to just collaborate further and have more of my hand in the process with the higher tiers. That's just basically how it's priced. As for services, this is where it gets better in terms of artist to artist and producer to producer. For the artist services, and these are available on landstrikesound.com already. They are not available on prodbylandfill.com right now, but that can change in the future. That should change in the future for sure. So that way people from the BeatStars world can enter into these services directly and they don't have to go through the maze of DMs, or I have to go through the maze of DMs, or my team has to go through the maze of DMs to find people that want to work and all that. So the artist services that I have referred to the Sybyr brand. As you may know, LandStrike is the production, Sybyr is the artist. So these services include a Sybyr feature, which is only the hook. On the website, it's listed, and my price is listed at 175. And then you have the Sybyr features verse. So a verse 300. That really goes into operational expenses at this point. It's not just to bragging rights or anything of the sort. It's mainly just to keep operations going, especially for tours and showtime and all that good stuff. And even behind the scenes with what I run as a business. And then I also do have a beat collaboration for LandStrike, this one right here, where you and I collaborate on a production, whether it's a beat, whether it's a score, whether it's an application, whether it's a jingle, whichever have you. And we can both sell it on our respective platforms and then just do what we do over there. Now, I do have new services that I want to introduce. I have services that I want to introduce. Now, these services will definitely be more hands on in terms of your song, your essence for what you want to capture within a song via mixing, engineering, mastering services. These services that I have, one of them is myself mixing vocals to you. So mixing vocals from myself to you. And I also have a vocal mix by my engineer, Owen Nilsson, to you with some of my add-ons, additions. But these are the two options that you all have for mixing services for right now. My mixing service is $55 per track. The tier with Owen Nilsson, he is busy. He gets a lot of business nowadays with the studio setup right now. So the price for that one is 200, just a flat rate. So that way he can cover himself and I get a little bit of the piece of the service. Now, for the best methods of contact, the best methods of contact go as follows. Email, which is my email, cyber@groupcrewmedia.com. There's also Instagram DMs, more specifically, either or. It could be Cyberhood, it could be LandStrike, either of those. But it's going to take more time for me to find yours on the Sybyr profile versus the LandStrike profile. And also, text line opening soon. Email or DM me for an inquiry on so you can have my number. Now, for international numbers, it may be a little crazy for texting back on my end. However, we could work something out. And if text doesn't work for the international folks out there, then Instagram or a simple email can go a long way. My inbox for Group Crew Media is very light right now. So there's not a lot of activity going on with that. So that's most likely the best way to reach me, unless I happen to see you right then and there on Instagram DMs via LandStrike, and I get to you, answer your question, see what's going on, have a solution that you want to get across, a problem that you want to fix, and all that good stuff. So those are the best methods of contact. Now, for sound kits, this is not a service necessarily. This is not a service. However, this is what is available as a product on my store. And this is how I get to play around with melodies and MIDI files and arranging and things of that nature. So I'm gonna go over these kits one by one. Well, yeah, one by one. I'll go through it one by one. So at the top left, I have Trap Patterns MIDI and Loop Kit. That one was pretty much a compilation of beat sequences in MIDI version that can be used, copied, and pasted into your song, your production to capture some of that essence. The instrumentation doesn't really matter, but I did add the loops just to give you a sense on which goes with which pattern. So that way there's no confusion. On the bottom left, I do have LandStrike Volume 2 or Landfill Drum Kit Volume 2. This cover was made by Babe at Babe, produced by Babe. Shout out to Jeremy. And this one was a second addition to the Landfill drum kit that was originally released in 2017. And that goes over just a little bit more sounds that you can use for your productions. In the middle here, we got Range Era MIDI and Loop Kit. Range Era MIDI and Loop Kit. This one was doing its best to capture the essence of the early syringe material, the early syringe sonics, the early wave of that era. I will be working on more versions of the Ringe era, so look out for those as well soon. Now, to the top right, I have Unconventional Artsy Volume 1. This one is more so a collection of unconventional beats that don't really belong to a particular genre or ballad or things of that nature. So they're just more fun. They're more experimental, is what I'm trying to say. They're more experimental. Now, as for the one on the bottom right, this one is new. I just released this within the past month. It's called Unaligned Vision Sample Pack. This is a collection of pretty much all the loops that I was able to work on throughout 2024 that I've compiled into a kit this year in 2025 as we're about to approach 2026. So this one is a newer kit. At the bottom right is called Unaligned Vision. Now these are available on either landstrikesound.com or producebylandfill.com. Either or is great because I do make it I do my best to upload all of the kits everywhere. Now that will change for the services offered, but as of right now, all the kits you see here are available on landstrikesound.com and podbylandfill.com. So you can get all of these kits here for those websites. And thank you. Thank you. Okay. Are there any questions or anything I got to work out? So let me know. I don't know why this is going backwards in time. But yes, thank you all for the love throughout the years, for buying the vinyls, for going to the shows, for performing with me. If you happen to perform with me at one of these shows, it's been great. Just want to better capture my production side and get more into the sounds of things, get more to the groove or the behind the scenes of engineering and processing and messing with sound a lot more. But all right, I'll go through some of these messages too. All right. What's up, man? Here to go. Thank you, Blender Unleashed. Thank you, Skull Weave. Rinjera kit was good. I got to get more of them kits. All right. Thank you all. VR show was sick. Hey, you pull up the VR. That's what's up. Also, thank you all for the love throughout the years. I know I got to get more hands on with the production, and I will eventually. Eventually, I will. But this is all I have for the presentation. If anybody wanted to say anything, now you can. If you want to ask some questions, now you can. and I'll pull this up for about 10 minutes. I'll pull this up for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And I'll start now. Anything about the methods of contact, anything about the mixing services, anything about those, you can email me about those for sure, and I'll get to you at a proper time. Not too long, not too short. But if there's nothing going on, I do thank all of you for joining this live stream. It means a lot. I've been I've been kind of building a channel on the side, and it is hard. It is definitely hard, especially when it's not totally music. Just in general, even with music, I see a lot of channels only get a certain range, and it's like, hey, um, thankful to pull back up on this channel, get this live stream, talk it out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I think anybody had any questions. So yeah, I'm gonna end it now. Thank you all for pulling up. Appreciate the love. And I'm gonna get in tune with you in a message or an email, and we'll talk about the next steps. Thank you all.